crenellations and merlons. They are the regular gaps in the battlements along the top of outer walls, allowing for archers to fire down at an enemy, then step aside for full protection behind the merlon. Armies and attacking forces had to overcome these castle battlements and defences. This led to the science of the siege engine. The earliest and most primitive of siege engines was the battering ram. The Spartans used a battering ram at the siege of Plataea in 429 BC. The tortoise was used to fill in a ditch to allow more direct access to the walls or gate. Later rams were enclosed with an A-frame roof to defend against arrow or stone attack. The device was wheeled up to the gate and ramming commenced. The catapult was the second to come into use, flinging rock or flaming debris at or over the walls. Scaling ladders were popular with the Greeks. The Carthaginians used siege towers against the Greek colony in Sicily. The Romans preferred to assault by way of earthen ramps built up against the wall, protecting their workforce with shields. Ancient siege artillery evolved in the form of gastrophetes, or the bolt thrower. The Chinese favored the giant crossbow. The catapult, the ballista, and the trebuchet all utilized mechanical energy to enhance their power. In an attempt to stop the medieval weapon technology slipping away, enthusiasts have built a functioning trebuchet, in fact, the largest one in existence. The giant catapult, weighing 22 tons, is modeled on those used in warfare 700 years ago, and can fire boulders and other projectiles with almost pinpoint accuracy over 200 meters away.
We wanted to bring something here that didn't exist in the UK. There is no currently fired trebuchet in England at the moment, and we wanted to bring something here that would capture people's imagination, bring a piece of history to life, and that was commensurate with the size and scale of the castle itself.
The trebuchet has 300 pieces. They were specially made in Britain and painstakingly assembled on site by hand over a 5-week period. It was here that those behind it found out if all their calculations and efforts on the trebuchet had worked out.
We work in a yard in Wiltshire and we build everything basically in 2 dimensions, so you wouldn't have the whole thing together until you put it up on site. And so that was the crucial bit, actually putting it together on site. We did it all by hand. We hand erected using ropes and blocks and tackles. And that's the crunch part, is when you find out if everything's going to fit and it's going to match in together.
2 wheels on the trebuchet are turned to bring down its giant arm, which has 6 tons of stone in its base. The trebuchet then uses gravity to propel giant projectiles. It's hoped the giant siege machine will demonstrate how past technology was used as part of the armory of medieval warfare. During the Crusades, European castle builders got to see many new and innovative ideas in the construction of fortifications by the Byzantines. They took many of the ideas back to Europe and Britain with them. Among the new designs were geometric and mathematical layouts, projecting towers regularly spaced along the outer walls. These could be either round or square. Additional defensive walls inside the primary enceinte surrounded the keep. Eastern design influence expressed itself in tactics as well. Unlike the West, they considered each encircling wall to be a fortress unto itself, the keep being the last refuge of the garrison. Each component of the castle could also assist the other in their mutual defense with crossfire and enfilade. With these developments, European castles began to take on dissimilar appearance, their construction unique to their conditions, local materials, and function. Richard I of England built the fortress Château-Gaillard-les-Andelys. The design consisted of 3 enceintes built on high ground, the keep was merely a tower attached to the innermost wall. It was found that round towers withstood sieges better than square or sharp-edged towers, which could be undermined and collapse more easily than smooth-walled round towers. Frederick II built a castle that had no keep at all, just an octagonal-shaped wall with a tower at each point connected by the outer wall. The walls of Constantinople gave more innovation to castle builders, with concentric battlements one within another, particularly on flat or open ground. These could withstand siege as well as the inaccessible castles. During the late Middle Ages and the increase in military excursions, the need grew for more castles built in hostile lands. Edward I of England went to work in a campaign of castle building in Wales. Frederick II in southern Italy reused existing structures placed there by the Normans and Byzantines. King Denis I in Portugal, Philip I August of France, the Teutonic Knights in Prussia and Poland. The German nobles built their castles utilizing waterways as a line of defense. In a clearing in a small forest in France's Burgundy region southeast of Paris, a group of people are attempting to build a 13th century castle from scratch, utilizing only the local materials and tools available to builders in that time. There are no cement mixers or power tools. This is Guédelon, a typical French medieval château fort being built using the techniques, materials and rules of the 13th century.
The people who work with these stones here, like the carpenters, all find it very interesting to be able to work manually without electrical machines and surrounded by lots of dust everywhere. They all find it very exciting to be able to accomplish their tasks in the way those were done in the old days. And they are also attracted by the fact that they really have to work as a team. The tree that gets cut is then chopped and eventually finds its place in the structure of the castle. And for that to happen, several people have to work together. Everyone finds this kind of cooperation very exciting.
It was in June 1997 that the first stone was laid. The last stone is expected to be in place in around 2025, according to current estimates. The plans for Guédelon were drawn up by a contemporary French architect and based on a typical 13th century chateau from the reign of Philippe Auguste. The chateau will be constructed around 6 towers, one for each corner.